Imagine what life would be like if you really, really liked yourself. Imagine what life would be like if you no longer cared what anybody else thought about you. I have designed this confidence hypnotherapy session to train your brain to really love yourself, let go of any negative thoughts, feelings or emotions, and to learn how to actually love yourself, love your body, who you are on the inside, and value yourself because you are worth it. This channel is all about weight loss, and self-love is a massive part of that journey. This is a full hypnotherapy session meant to bring about profound and deep change within you. Deep change about the way you feel about yourself and the way that you feel about others. I really enjoyed making this session. It was suggested by Erica. What a beautiful and wonderful suggestion to make. And I just could not make this session because it has a beautiful and lovely message that everybody needs to hear. This session is a lovely story about a tribal elder that I think everybody will be able to connect to. And as I made this session, I realized that people could really do with some beautiful morning affirmations. So next week, I'm going to make some beautiful morning affirmations for you to listen to. Be sure you subscribe so you get notified as soon as that session becomes available. I would really love to see in the comments below all the positive affirmations that you maybe say now or you would love to really, really feel about yourself. So comment below, let me know those positive affirmations, and I will include them in next week's session. So settle in, it's time to get started. As you settle in and get ready, I just want to go through some basic hypnosis housekeeping for you. For you to get the most out of each hypnosis session, I recommend listening to it every day or every night for at least 7 days. You can listen to it for longer for sure, and you can come back to it whenever you like. You can also use this session when you get into bed at night, and I do recommend listening with a headset or headphones. You will get the most out of the session. I have included at the end of the session a suggestion for you to remove your headset or your earphones if you are using them. So don't worry, you can use this session to drift into a beautiful, deep, relaxing sleep, or you can wake up and be alert. Your unconscious will know if you're in bed or not and will make the right decision for you. So settle in and get ready for the session because we're about to start. Go ahead and take a deep breath in, symbolizing the start of this confidence hypnotherapy for body love, self-worth, and self-love session. And as you release the breath slowly, release away any cares, any worries, any concerns. That's right. And take another deep breath in, breathing in peace and relaxation. And this time, breathing out any tension in the body. That's right. And as you breathe in, you may notice that tension around the body. So when you breathe out, you can release that breath out and imagine that all those places with tension start to melt away. Take another nice, slow, deep breath in. And as you release that breath out, you can let go of any thoughts. Just go ahead and let them go. Let them release out and drift away. And each and every time any thoughts drift into your mind, you can notice them and let them drift out again, sending them on their way and refocusing your mind on my voice. And as you relax down deeply, finding this beautiful, peaceful spot, you can be curious just how deeply relaxed that you're going to feel during this hypnosis session. And for the purpose of hypnosis, each and every time you hear the bell, you can go down to this deep, relaxing place or even further. Just allow your breath to go back to normal now, knowing that with each and every breath, you can relax down even deeper and deeper, further and further. I want you to imagine or get a sense or a feeling that a warm, relaxing light is touching the tips of those toes. And as the light touches the tips of those toes, it warms them gently. And those toes start to relax. Any tension just simply melts away. And as the light touches those toes, I want you to imagine or get a sense of a feeling that that light is now spreading across those feet and relaxing those feet. All the tendons, all the muscles simply relaxing, going loose and limp and slack as that beautiful warm light warms up those feet and spreads them. Deep relaxation all through those feet. And as that white light, that beautiful, gentle, warming, white, relaxing light spreads up those ankles into those legs. Those ankles and legs feel so loose, limp and slack. Imagine now, or get a sense or a feeling that that light is penetrating deep down into every system and cell and spreading up those legs, gently warming and relaxing those legs so they can also go loose, limp and slack. That's right. Now you can imagine or get a sense or a feeling that that beautiful white, warming, relaxing light is now moving into the pelvis, the stomach, and spreading across that chest as that beautiful warming light relaxes that torso. Imagine it penetrating right down into the lower back, maybe into any stiffness, any soreness, and just melting away and drifting deep down into the back as it enters all the muscles and tendons all around that spine and allowing that body to just drift into this deep, beautiful place of peace. And now you can imagine that white light, that deep, relaxing white light now spreading up to the neck, across the shoulders, releasing any tension, any stiffness, any soreness in those shoulders, down those arms, right down to those fingertips, feeling so loose and relaxing. That body, those arms, those legs, those feet are drifting away now. Just the neck and that head remain as that beautiful
warm, relaxing light now spreads up that neck. You can feel that neck going loose and limp and slack. You can confidently allow that head to just start to drift down. Wherever it needs to, let it hang loose as that warm, relaxing light now spreads up over the head, over the face, over the eyes and forehead, right down into the scalp as that warm, relaxing, deeply peaceful white light spreads across the scalp. You may feel a tingling. You may just feel numb. Whatever it is that you're feeling is perfect for you as you allow the body and now the mind, the neck and the head to just disappear. Just relax completely. Relax, feeling wonderful. As you feel so deeply relaxed, letting the mind drift, letting the body drift. No need to feel the body anymore. Just allow your unconscious to remain. That's right. You're doing so well now. And while you are there relaxing so deeply, I wonder if you can relax even further. I wonder if you can be curious about just how deeply relaxed you can go. And I wonder if you imagine or get a sense or a feeling of drifting down with each and every number when I count from 5 to 1. That's right. With each and every number, I wonder if you can get the feeling of drifting down even further, even deeper and deeper. 5. Feeling yourself slip down further. I wonder if you can go even deeper. 4. Feeling yourself traveling down now. 3. Drifting further and further. 2. And I'm curious. I wonder if you're curious just how further you can go. And then 1, imagine what that would be like. So deeply relaxed. 1, deeply relaxed now. That's right. Look how well you're doing now. How nice does it feel to be this relaxed? In fact, maybe you don't remember this feeling of relaxation so deeply before. And what a wonderful feeling it is to be in this deep, relaxing place. And for the purpose of hypnosis, each and every time you hear the bell, you can go down to this deep, relaxing place or even further. That's right. And while you're there relaxing and allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper, with every word I speak, I want to tell you a story about a tribe of people. And they were all gathered around an elder of the tribe. She's on her bed, ready to take her final steps in life, telling her final story to the rest of her people. Her bed is low to the ground, with big comfortable pillows all around her. All ages of women and men are gathered around her, sitting on the ground, on cushions around her bed. Grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, girlfriends, boyfriends, those who don't identify as any of those, and those who identify as male or female, friends, teenagers, children, babies of all levels, all ages, all walks of life. Everyone is equal and valued in this tribe. And this old lady, this elder, is in her bed, just propped up a little by the big pillows, smiling down upon everyone, sitting down around her, eagerly waiting to hear her final story, her final piece of wisdom that she wants to pass on to each and every woman, man, child, and baby in her tribe. This is a beautiful and peaceful moment, and one that everybody looks forward to as this elderly lady starts her story. You see, it's a ritual in this tribe of people that you pass on your wisdom. You pass it down generation after generation, always being the voice of positive change within the tribe, always being the voice of change within yourself. And now, this elderly lady, she speaks, and she starts talking about a story of when she was younger, when she was little. She was out with her family. She had this beautiful, long, flowing hair, which people noticed and complimented her. They said, "You have beautiful hair," and would tell her how shiny her hair was. And then they would compliment her on her beautiful smile. It made her feel good. It made her feel confident. So every day, this little girl made sure she kept her hair shiny and her lovely smile bright. It took a lot of work, but she did it. Soon this little girl felt like she needed to always keep up this shiny hair and her beautiful smile. And every day she got up, she felt like she needed to make sure that she had shiny hair and a beautiful smile on her face, even when she didn't feel like smiling or having beautiful hair. Sometimes she would put looking after her hair and her smile above everything else that was really important to her. And as this girl grew just a little bit older, she remembers being in a group of friends, and one of her friends complimented the girl standing next to her, telling her, "Wow, you look great. Have you lost weight?" And showered this girl with all this attention on how lovely she was looking right now. And it made it feel like maybe she needed to lose weight too. Why wasn't she getting complimented on her weight? So then she went about making sure that she had beautiful shiny hair and a lovely smile. And she worked so hard on being just the right size and shape. She wasn't sure what size and shape that was, so she looked at magazines and images and other people and constantly compared herself to others. And if others looked a certain way and got a lot of attention, she would then go ahead and work on those things, forgetting all along all those other things that mattered to her most, like caring for others, like being loving, like loving herself, like being smart and having the ability to do anything that she sets her mind to. Soon everything became about her image. As she grew into her teenage years, more and more pressure was put on her to look and feel a certain way. And when she couldn't look a certain way because it didn't suit her body, she felt down, felt not good enough. She felt like her self-esteem was down, that she wasn't worth it. And now, as we travel through time, as she grows into adulthood, into womanhood, she reminds us of all the images that she's seen throughout her life of how we should look, how we should think, and about the size and shape of the different people through the different eras that she's seen. Like Marilyn Monroe, with a tiny waist and just the right proportions of bust and hip. Then there was Twiggy, the supermodel, who was waif thin. And also Kate Moss. She was also super thin, as the whole fashion industry went through a skinny phase. And what about Breakfast at Tiffany's? Audrey Hepburn, another image we must live up to, having just the right outfit, perfectly put together. And then we have other images, like Jennifer Aniston on Friends, and how her hair was just such a big statement, and how many people copied that look, even her. And then we move on to more current times, looking at the Kardashians, and how now it's trendy to be a pear shape and have a big booty. And this elderly lady goes on with more and more examples of how over her life she tried to look like all these different women. Then she paused for a moment. She looks across the room to all the men and women listening intently, and she tells them about all of these images and how the body should look and how society told her to look over time. And she tells the tribe to imagine all those images together of Marilyn, Twiggy, Kim, Jennifer, Kate. And she wants you to imagine putting them side by side. And then she says, quietly, imagine trying to be all those people. It's impossible. And all her life she tried to look like everybody else. She tried to look like what she thought in her mind everybody else wanted her to look like. And she spent most of her life unhappy, not feeling confident at all, always dieting, always trying to look like what society said she should look like. And the people of the tribe nodded and smiled as they understand the wisdom that she's parting upon them. She tells the people of the tribe how she realized that we're all so different. We all have completely different DNA. It is impossible to look like somebody else. It is impossible to be like somebody else. It is impossible to be happy when you're trying to be someone you're not. Even identical twins don't dress the same or have the same tastes or choice in partners. Once she realized this, she boycotted all the companies showing unrealistic body images, the social media accounts with unrealistic body ideals, places and people that promote an unrealistic body size and shape. She was no longer bombarded with images of how she needed to look and be. And something changed. She tells the group she started seeing images constantly of real women and of all different size, bodies and shapes. She no longer compared herself to others, and she also stopped judging others for how they looked and started looking deeper. And when she started looking deeper into people, at what she loved about them, how they looked on the outside had nothing to do with it. Then she thought, Well, I love that person because of who they are. Why can't I love me because of who I am? So she decided that day to banish the negative body talk. She decided to banish the judging of others on how they looked. She decided she wanted to be the change in her life. She decided she wanted to be the one who decided what she looked like. And then something changed. And sometimes she wondered what society would want us to look in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, with a giggle. I wonder what that fad diet would look like, or the fashion in 5 or 10 years' time. What size, shape, body would media be promoting? And any thoughts of how many times she dieted to reach those unrealistic body and image goals, and how she never felt happy during any of that time? And that just didn't make sense. But now things have changed. Now when she goes to buy clothes, she ignores the size on the label. She knows that she could get the same size from 10 different shops and they'll all fit completely different. The size on the label doesn't matter. She knows now what matters is how you feel in that piece of clothing. And she says to the group, I want you to imagine now yourselves going into a store, ignoring the size on the tag, just getting the size that fits you well, and that feels comfortable, that you look good in and feel good in. The size is just a number, and it doesn't matter anymore. As you can realize now that the pressure you feel to look a certain way comes from within, she said. Imagine if we didn't care what others think of us. Imagine if we only cared about what we thought of ourselves. What would be different in your life? How would you live? What would you eat? What would you wear, and how nice is it that you are different to everyone else? Could you imagine if we were all the same? We would all like the same things. We'd all be wearing the same clothes. We'd have the same hairstyle, wearing the same makeup, dating the same people, or married to the same people, in the same job, living the same life. Isn't that boring? How interesting is it when people are different? And you can be curious to find out all those differences and enjoy celebrating them. And as the old lady went through life, she told the tribe of how she found self-love, self-esteem, and self-care, and how she started celebrating her kindness and all the wonderful things about herself. The women in the tribe know them all. They call out the traits they have learnt from her. One by one, they stand up. I am strong. The next one stands up. I am versatile. I can do anything that I put my mind to. I am positive. I am passionate. I can handle any kind of challenge in my life with style and grace, says another. I walk taller and more confident, one lady claims. I am kind, says another. I am caring. I have the confidence to say no. I have the confidence to say, I don't like that. Or no, I don't want that. The elderly woman smiles. raises her hand as to gesture to the group that she's about to speak. The women sit down and the room goes quiet. The woman says, "What would life be like if you really, really liked yourself?" She pauses. What would life be like if you really liked who you are? What would life be like? What would life be like if you looked in the mirror and you noticed something very special looking back at you? What would life be like if you woke up in the morning, every morning, and said to yourself, "I love you, you're such an amazing person," or something of that effect? What would life be like if you praised yourself when you deserved it, or even when you didn't? What would life be like if you gave yourself all the love and care you needed? What would it be like if you no longer looked externally to bring yourself happiness, love, self-love, self-esteem, confidence? And what would it be like if you felt totally confident within yourself? How differently would you go about your life? How differently would you live? As she looked down upon all the men and women in the tribe, imagine your life now in a world where you love deeply, and how kind you are to yourself and others was the most important trait. Imagine the people that would be around you. Imagine how you would feel having those types of people around you. Imagine that you judge people only on their kindness and their love and compassion for one another and their humanity. Imagine a society where the most important thing is not a handbag or a hairstyle or an outfit or a body size and shape. How differently would you live your life? Imagine that kindness and love was what you judged people on. Imagine when I was younger, right back when I was a child, I was complimented on how kind, smart, determined, and hardworking and loving I am. And imagine a world where everybody was complimented on how kind, smart, determined, hardworking, and loving they are. And in my last moments, my final wisdom I pass down to you. Give yourself the love you're searching for. Give yourself the happiness that you deserve because you are worth it. And also be the change that you are seeking. And it is now your job to pass down these messages of self-love, self-worth, and confidence, and self-esteem. And what's really important in life is to now change. And it's now time to change yourself on a daily basis. And tell yourself on a daily basis how beautiful your soul is, how loving and kind you are, and how proud you are of yourself, and how you can now just notice all the amazing things that you do and achieve. You're so proud of yourself. You praise yourself on a daily basis. It's your job to make you feel good, and it's now your job to pass on that to the rest of the world. So now as you go out into the world, my last messages to you is a challenge. In conversations with yourself and others, compliment them on what kind of person they are. Notice the beauty in people and be the change that you're wanting to have. And as the elder sends her final words, her breath releases out. Her last magical breath releases out all her wisdom and knowledge throughout the room and around the men and women, touching each and every one of their souls through the ages, giving them confidence, self-love, self-worth, self-esteem, and body love. And as it gives those bodies that confidence, self-love, self-worth, self-esteem, and body love, it takes away any self-doubt or negative thoughts. Imagine or get a sense or a feeling of all those negative self-thoughts being taken and drifted out of the body. As you imagine that wisdom, that lady's wisdom, is drifting around the room, giving that wonderful positive feelings to everyone, taking away all that negativeness. So go ahead and take a deep breath in and breathe in the wisdom as that soul leaves the body, and all her wisdom is imparted and left behind on the men and women of the tribe, the grandmothers, the grandfathers, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, girlfriends, boyfriends, those who don't identify as any of those, and those who identify as male or female, friends, teenagers, children, babies of all levels and ages, all walks of life. Because everyone is equal and valued in this tribe. Breathing in with a smile, they feel the warmth and wisdom of this elderly lady. The confidence, the self-worth, the self-esteem, the self-love, the body love is now shared with you. It's a gift of self-confidence, self-worth, self-esteem, and self-love. You now have the key that unlocks the door to self-love and feeling happiness every single day. And now that spirit drifts up and away, taking any negative feelings, self-doubt, negative self-talk, or negative feelings away with her. See the negative all leave the body, leaving your body and drifting away with her. Replaced with confidence, self-esteem, self-love, and total love and acceptance of you and your body. She now goes forth to be reborn again and to continue this wisdom and journey of change. And now you too notice something's changed. You feel different. You feel stronger. You feel more confident. And that wisdom is now part of you. You can feel it in your body. Take a moment now to notice your body and how you love each and every part of it, and how proud you are of how you look and who you are. You have that wisdom now, you can't go back. You now have the key and the door is open to self-love. Now take a moment to let that image of the tribal woman fade off into the distance and bring in all those wonderful feelings and everything that you've learned back with you as you relax down deeper and further. And tonight, when you go to bed at a time that's right and natural for you, any dreams that you'll have will be of a learning nature and positive. And when you wake in the morning, you'll wake and knowing something's changed as you go about whatever it is that you plan to do for the day. And it might not be today or tomorrow or next week, but you'll see a flash of colour at the corner of your eye. And when you see that flash of colour at the corner of your eye, it'll remind you that you are a strong, powerful person, that you are confident, and that you love every bit of yourself. You are worth it and you are worthy. And now when you wake up in the morning, you can say to yourself the following. And in fact, I want you to repeat them to yourself now. I am worth it. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of confidence. I am worthy of self-love. I decide what I want to look like. I decide what I want to feel like. I feel self-love. I feel confident. I feel strong. I love who I am. I am smart. I am kind. I am hard-working. Take a moment to let everything suggested on this Confidence Hypnotherapy for Body Love, Self-Worth and Self-Love session sink down deep into every system, cell and organ. That's right. And in a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and when I say 5, your eyes can be wide open, fully awake, fully aware, or on 5 you can drift down into a deep, relaxing sleep. The choice will be yours, and your unconscious knows exactly what to do. 1. The feeling now comes back up through the feet and rises up into the body. As you become more aware, 2. The feeling now returns to the systems, cells and organs. And 3. Coming up to the surface a little bit more, just enough to take out your earphones or headset if you need to, and drift down into a deep, relaxing sleep if that's your choice. And 4, coming up closer to the surface, and your unconscious can decide whether it wants to wake now or whether it wants to drift down into a deep, relaxing sleep. That's right. And 5, either eyes wide open, wide awake, feeling strong and confident, or slipping down into a deep, relaxing sleep and waking when it's time, confident and full of self-love and body love. The choice is yours, and you can make that now.